Okay, so in-house today is Apple's latest iPad. This is the iPad A16, or the one most recently released for 2025. And this naming convention is getting it a little crazy, but plus side is we are now getting 128 gigs of storage included as the baseline here. This is going to be that blue colorway, and you can kind of see how the color reflects on the wording on the iPad and the Apple logo on the sides and top of the package here. Nice little touch. Unboxing experience is pretty simple as what we've come to expect. Two little tears here on the top and bottom. Flip it over, and we are greeted with the iPad right on top here. Let's set this down for a second. And unsurprisingly, not much else comes in the package aside from your USB-C to USB-C braided cable and a 20 watt, I believe it's 20 watt, power adapter. Yep, sure is. So nothing crazy. That's what you get in the box. At least it's a nice braided cable. In your reading manuals, one thing that I don't believe it comes with anymore are any stickers, unfortunately. Apple did that to be more environmentally friendly, so take that from what you want. If you're a sticker fiend, unfortunately, it will not be giving you any more in this package. So let's slide this over and take a look at the blue colorway for this iPad. Ooh, and right off the bat, I have to say, this actually looks really good. It is definitely more saturated than some of the blues we've seen recently. Got that single camera in the back. And one awesome new feature here is that your FaceTime camera is on the horizon axis rather than sitting vertically. That is great to see. Got your volume rockers on the side. You have your ports here, the 3-pin pogo connectors, your speakers up top, power button, and speakers down below, and of course USB Type-C charging. Aside from that, nothing else new in box. What's interesting is, as you just saw here, when it starts up, the Apple logo is in horizontal mode, not vertical mode. It's encouraging you to use this in this layout. So what we're gonna do, we'll go ahead and get it all set up. Same setup process as before, nothing new to really show here, and we'll jump into it. All right, so we have the 11th gen iPad all set up, and the first thing I do want to call out here is that new fingerprint reader, and unfortunately it is still the same where you can't just tap it. It does tell you still need to rest your finger on it before it unlocks. So not a big deal, but just keep in mind you can't simply lay it there and expect it to unlock. You will have to set it there for a second or a half a second before it loads up. But aside from that, everything is just so much smoother on this iPad. Everything you might want to use and run with on a day-to-day basis, it is actually very, very smooth. Watching videos loads quick on YouTube. Changing the resolution as you want on the fly is actually pretty quick. And you can see it already applied and is upgraded. I've had issues on older iPads where it did not want to load that quick. If you are interested in picking one of these up, you can pick from a few different color options. You have silver, you have this blue obviously, you have a pink and a yellow. I do think the blue looks the best in this scenario. It does come in 3 different storage patterns. You have 128, 256, and 512, and it is huge now that 128 is the base level storage, because if you follow us and you hear about us talking about this on our iOS videos, iOS and iPadOS does take up quite a bit of your storage by default. You can see right here, iPadOS is 10, almost 11 gigs of that 128 right here. And then pile on if you get one of the new iPad Airs or any of the ones that are compatible with Apple Intelligence, this is easily going to jump up to about 15 or 16 gigabytes out of that 128. So having that extra base storage is huge and is going to be very beneficial going forward for iPads. It does weigh a little over 1 pound. If you do get a cellular model, it has a slight extra tenth of a pound as well. Nothing huge, but just something I wanted to make you guys aware of. It is nice having those dual speaker setups on the top and bottom. You have that smart connector, obviously, like we talked about. And again, it is an 11-inch iPad. If you updated to the iPad Air, you do have an option for a 13-inch model, which is a little larger. You do have 264 PPIs. That comes out to 2360 by 1640 PPI. It does have True Tone display. The brightness outdoors does get up to 500 nits, so not the brightest out there, but it is serviceable if you need indirect sunlight. That fingerprint resistant oleophobic coating is here. However, please believe you are still going to see fingerprints whenever you use this. And one caveat here, depending on what your use case is for this new iPad, is that it only does support the original first generation Apple Pencil. You cannot use it with any of the new Pencil Pros or anything like that. And again, as the naming implies, this does have the A16 chip in it, which is a 5-core CPU and a 4-core GPU with a 16-core neural engine. The camera on the back is not going to do any favors for anybody. I don't think anyone's really going to be taking a lot of photography with this. But if you're interested in that camera, it is a single 12 megapixel wide angle camera with an f1.8 aperture. You do have digital zoom up to 5x. Wouldn't recommend it. It's going to be very blown out. It is a 5-element lens with autofocus. You can take panorama pictures up to 63 megapixels. It does have smart HDR4. Photo geotagging, image stabilization, burst mode, and you can record up to 4K 60 actually with this iPad. So if you're doing some work in a pinch and you need to record something, the video quality should not look terrible, at least at that. And you can obviously do slow motion videos at 1080, 120, and different features of that nature also. You do have this time in the center here, like we were talking about, the center stage camera that is a 12 megapixel camera with an f2.4 aperture that does also have smart HDR4 and caps out at 1080p for video recording at 60 FPS. So that's about it. Spec-wise, feature-wise, again, this, if you can get it on sale for around $300, is going to be the version to get, especially for kids in school or anything like that. Definitely like this color. I'll throw those affiliate links up down below. I greatly appreciate it if you use it, and let us know, what do you think about the new base model iPad in 2025? Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.